Well, hello and welcome to another episode of A Walk in My Shoes. I am Dan Vasquez, and today we're so excited about our guest. We have Rishan Andai, and she is a owner of a company, a Caterer company. Well, first of all, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
It's exciting to have you and to learn about you. So tell us a little about you and your company.
Okay, well, I've got to give you a little bit of background story.
Sure.
I'm originally from Eritrea, and that's in Northeast Africa. So my country fought a 30-year war with Ethiopia, and so we escaped war, and that's why we came to the United States. So I've been here since I was 5 years old, so I've gone all my education, I've gone through high school. My bachelor's degree is in political science. My main dream in life was to become a public speaker.
Okay.
And that just didn't come out of nowhere, because it's all about your experiences, right? What you went through. And so I had a class in high school. It was a business program. So for 3 years, we were in this business program where we were giving public speeches to our classmates, to our teacher. There were judges there, and I was so scared to talk to people. So we presented these reports on Fortune 500 companies, and when I first started talking, you could not hear me. I was whispering. But by that third year, man, my voice had elevated. I felt confident, and so I believe that was something planted in me that, hey, you can build your confidence just by speaking, And so that's what motivated me. My first business, Motivating Dreamers Worldwide. We do conferences, youth programs, and what kind of got me into the catering was there was a lot of reasons. However, I will tell you that I never liked cooking. I never enjoyed cooking. I used to become overwhelmed at the thought of cooking for a lot of people. But I learned from my mom how to cook lasagna, and that's what it started with, and that's still what I sell, what we cater. And so I learned from my mom how to chop up onions, cook onions, and so what I started doing was I started bringing my lasagna to my friends and family, different groups I was a part of, and they told me they liked it. And then something clicked just this past year, but the thought was always in my mind.
Yes.
Man, maybe I should sell this. Maybe I should start a business. It was in my mind for several years, but something clicked, and it said, "Start it now." And so I said, "Hey, I'm selling to my friends and family. Hey, I'm selling lasagna. Would you like to try?" So just by word of mouth, it spread like that. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to get serious. I'm going to turn it into a business, So I did all my paperwork and everything, and so that's what I'm doing: chopping up onions, cooking sauce, and I have repeat customers, and so we're expanding to bring it to connect more with the community. That's what I love, to do things with the community, for the community. I've got a lot of volunteering experience. It's one of my passions to be able to give back in some kind of way. I've gone through, I was diagnosed with a mental illness when I was in college.
Oh, wow.
And that kind of took me back, but God was able to help me and help me finish my course.
Yes.
And get my bachelor's. It took me 8 years to get my bachelor's degree.
Oh my goodness.
But I'm here to tell you that you can achieve all your dreams, and you can, whatever you go through, you can get to that next level with the support of family, community, if you believe in a higher power. So it was only by God's grace that I was able to get out of this severe depression. And so today I work out. I've been 2 weeks vegan due to some health issues. So I have been a vegan for 2 weeks, and I exercise, and those are all important. Okay, you have a company, you have a business to run, you're making income, but you also have to do for yourself. You have to treat yourself properly. You have to take care of yourself. I know we hear it all the time. Eat your vegetables, get enough rest. You know what I mean? So So that's what I'm doing today. And these changes didn't just happen like that. It was a process. I had to commit to personal development. So that's my company, Motivating Dreamers. I have two businesses, so sorry.
Okay, no,
talk
that's
back
great,
and
that's
forth.
great.
But yeah, so Motivating Dreamers is a personal development company.
That's amazing.
Yes. So here I am, this shy, painfully shy little girl, never spoke to people, scared of people. And it just, you know, it's like things you never thought that you could do. It turns out that it's actually, you can, that you actually can do it. Where I'm at today is not the same person I was 10, 20 years ago. And I think that's what happens. We go through these challenges in life, but the thing about it is, challenge is temporary, right? There's all kinds of help, resources. I talked about mental health. That's very important nowadays.
Yes.
That's important for everyone. You don't have to have a diagnosis.
Yes, absolutely. Your story is so amazing. I mean, we're learning so many things that you've been involved in. I mean, if there is one thing that I'm listening as I'm hearing your story has been perseverance and endurance. So you coming up with these businesses and now succeeding, what has been some of the things that have helped you get to that point? Like in your earlier years, what are some of the things that you honed that you said, okay, and that you're using today?
Okay, so you don't do it alone. So I did go to business training. You know, I took some courses on, I've got a business plan, I've learned how to create a website. So all the things you need as a business owner to be able to market your business. So, you know, I've tried other things, you know, like a cleaning and tutoring and things like that. You know, I've tried that. But I think I got really serious when I said, I need help. You know, and it's okay to ask for help. That's what we need to do, is ask for help. Yes.
Absolutely. Wow. So it's interesting that you just said one of your business is doing one thing that you didn't like to do. But you're succeeding on that. Tell me more about that.
I can't explain it. I think with the severe depression, it had really limited me. Because if you look up depression, you'll see there's a whole bunch of other symptoms that come along with that. You might have your focus might be, you know, lack of concentration. When you go through these long periods of depression, you lose your appetite, and so your energy, the lethargy, like your energy is gone. If you've ever been depressed to the point that you just feel like you cannot go on any longer. I'm telling you, there were days when I was like, I just want to go to sleep because I want this pain to end. And if I go to sleep, it won't be there. So always ask for help. And so the mission that started me on this path was, once I was able to achieve one thing and be good at it, you build your confidence. And like a person like me, if you have some kind of illness, go get help for it, right? There's treatment, there's medication. And so I have to constantly treat my mental illness. I have to constantly treat my just self-worth, right? We have to just to be able to say we're worthy, we're worthy. And so what has happened, and then I didn't tell you about the exercise. I exercise every day.
That's awesome.
So with the exercise, with me being motivated for my goals, it just helped me lift out of that and, like you said, persevere. It's like you accomplish one thing and then you're like, whoa, what else can I accomplish?
So you're creating momentum.
And
you harnessing that momentum and you keep on going. Do you exercise in the mornings? Is that when you normally exercise?
I exercise mostly in the mornings. Due to the weather change now, I have a bicycle at home.
Did you do it outside? Do you like the outside better?
Yes, the park is so great in the morning, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow. That's, I mean, your story is incredible. Have you written a book before?
I have. I'm a published author. The book was co-authored. That means there's several authors on there. So it talks about my life.
That's amazing. What's the name of the book?
It's called Release. Volume 2, Untold Stories of Inner Courage, Resilience.
That's
Yep, and
amazing.
overcoming, yep.
So a big barrier that you had to face was dealing with this mental health and depression. What is a message for someone who's dealing with depression right now?
You have to be courageous. You're going to need some courage because that's what it takes. Just a little bit of willingness to speak out and say, I have a problem. I need help. Those are two important words. I have a problem. I need help. That's what you start with. And you know, you go to your trusted people, whether that's your family, and you just, but it takes a lot of effort to have that courage, and that's what I'm seeing. It takes so much effort. And then when you're going through something, it's even more difficult to ask for the help because your mind is telling you, I'm suffering. I'm suffering. I'm suffering. How do I get out of this? That's it. You're stuck in that mode. And so what I encourage people is to be brave, right? Be brave.
Well, you certainly have been brave, not only overcoming that sickness, but also starting not one but two businesses, writing a book, and overcoming the fears. Going back into the story of your businesses, what are some of the things that have been most helpful to you in your career field?
Well, I have a supportive group, a network. Get yourself a network. I have a group of supportive people, friends, family, who are always cheering me on. You know, they said, good luck, you're going to do great. You know, when you hear things like that from the people you care about, you know, it makes a difference. And so I always say, become a part of a network of at least 5 people, you know, that can all help each other.
When you're looking into the people that you want on your side, what are some of the qualities that you're looking for in the people to become part of your network?
The qualities I'm looking for is I love people with ambition, people who care, you know, people who care. And negativity, there's no negativity. Everybody wants to lift each other up. So we've probably heard it before. If you're around 5 groups of people and there's some, you know, negative people in that group, you might end up like one of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's important. Positive influences.
Having positive people. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. If you could describe yourself in one word, how would you describe yourself?
Motivated.
Motivated. You certainly are. You certainly are. So now so you're still running the 2 businesses at the same time?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so
Yes, I am.
one is catering and the other one is
Personal development.
personal
business.
development.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit more about that one.
Okay, so we started off conferences. We did several conferences. I've done 8 multi-speaker conferences within the last 5 years. And it's something that I absolutely love, you know, engaging with people. I'm also a motivational speaker, so I've been asked to speak at several different places. I've been asked to speak on podcasts, and you know, those kind of opportunities come, but they only come if we put one foot in front of the other. You know, because we all have gifts and we all have desires, and you have the potential. You think you might not, but you really do. And it takes time for you to build that, you know.
In all of your successes, what are some of the things that you're most proud of?
One of the things that I'm most proud of is that I actually stepped up, even though I had fear of people, fear of speaking. You know, I did it. I've overcome my fear of people, you know, my fear of speaking, you know, because it's the mind, you know. We tell ourselves, negative thoughts come to our mind. Oh, if I raise my hand, maybe I'll ask a stupid question. Oh, what if, you know, what if? And It's amazing. It's amazing if you see my story from how I was to where I'm at. And I'm always wanting to be an inspiration. So if you can learn anything from this, is that you can do it, even though it feels like you can't.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. And you have done it, and you will continue to do it. Now you mentioned also that you like to give back, and we're so happy because we found out today that you have been a volunteer at the Columbus Leadership Council some years ago. Tell us what you did with us.
I loved it. I was an ESL instructor. And so we had a hand guidebook to go by. And see, I'm a teacher by nature. I actually worked for Columbus City Schools as a substitute teacher. So when I say a teacher, I'm doing it with my personal development workshops. I'm doing it with students, you know. So it was a great opportunity, and I loved it.
And what is your message to the youth of today? Now the youth of today are facing different challenges. They're facing different obstacles that previous generations didn't have. I'm talking about the access and technology that we have. I mean, and not that it's bad, but if you don't know how to use it, it could be bad because it can take all of your time, or the whole world that it's demanding your attention. How do you stay focused to accomplish a goal when you are being pulled from other sides? What would be some of the advice that you would give?
I would say get a journal, number one. Get a journal to start putting down your feelings, and then my real message is don't get caught up in your head. Always speak up, always speak out, always talk about what's bothering you. Because if you don't speak up, we already see what's happening. We know bullying is still there.
Yes.
We know the peer pressure and the image, you know. I have to look like her. I have to get those pair of shoes that he got. You know what I mean? So when it comes down to it, is a foundation of trusted people to keep around you.
Wow, wow. Who was those people in your life?
My father.
Your father.
My father. My father was my hero. My father, he provided for us. He did for us. See, my parents were also business owners back home in Eritrea. They always hustled. They learned how to. My father learned how to sew clothes. They had a clothing store. But unfortunately, we lost my dad in 2004. I was in the Dominican Republic. I was doing my last study abroad. And so my family called me and told me that I needed to come home. And they wouldn't explain everything. They said my dad was in the hospital. So unfortunately, you know, this is a part of our society. But someone did the unthinkable, because my father owned a convenience store. And someone did the unthinkable.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. Something you never imagined that could happen to you, happened to your family, you know. And several years ago, I started a scholarship to honor him, and we gave out money to college students.
Wow.
Yes, and, you know, you have your whole life ahead of you. You can do so much with your life, you know. And we're selfish by nature, but it's really about what we can give back to another human being.
Yes.
You know, I have a younger brother. Now, when he was a baby, he would share anything with you. Anything he's eating, even if it's a little bitty piece, he would share it with you.
Wow.
And he's still like that today.
Wow, that's amazing.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Children can touch you. And so that's a reminder to me to always get out of self-centeredness. Because we know we have issues. We know troubles will come. But if we step out, you know, let me not think about my problem for a little bit. Let me go on my mother and see what she needs help with, you know. Making a difference.
That's amazing. Now, if somebody's interested in having you come and speak at any other events or conferences, how do they reach you? Do you have a website or anything like that?
Yes, they can reach me at motivatingdreamers@gmail.com.
Okay.
The business is called Motivating Dreamers Worldwide.
Okay.
And so we have a mission and a vision for that as well.
That's awesome. And for
Yes.
the catering?
For the catering, you can reach me. Actually, you can go to my website, cateringbyrishan.com.
Cateringbyrishan.com.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
Yes,
awesome.
thank you.
Well, this has been like amazing. Hearing your story of many challenges, many challenges that you have to overcome, but you still, overcome, and you're still here. If there is anybody that is watching this show and they said, you know what, I would like to do something like this, like, what your advice for them be?
My advice to them is to do some research, talk to people who are already doing what you want to do. Sometimes it's just a matter of a phone call, even to a business. You can do an informational interview. Hey, I'd like to be a lawyer. Can I interview you at your office? It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Do those informational interviews so you can find out about what it takes to do this job day to day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we thank you so much for coming and for telling us your story. It's so inspirational. We need more people like you in the world that you don't give up for anything and you keep on going. Like, if I'm walking with anything from our conversation is that if you want something, you can do it.
Yes.
And you can achieve it. So that's fantastic. So thank you so much again for coming.
Thank you for having
me. We
me.
love having you, and we appreciate your time. And for any of you watching at home, thank you so much for being with us in another episode. We'll see you again next week in A Walk in My Shoes. Have a great day.